Okay, here we go. Because I've also got to adjust. I've got to adjust the Twitch channel as well. So let's do that. Let me adjust the Twitch channel. So yeah, so I guess I can't really put. That's what I was going to ask Classicore, because like I would normally stream. See, here's what I'm worried about. I don't want sections of this to be muted, so I feel like I can't do that. I have to probably do, like I was going to play like Jedi Survivor music or Jedi, Fallen Order music or Battlefront music or something. But the problem is that if I do that, then I'm afraid I'm still going to have like some stuff muted. So planets in the background. No, Duel of the Fates. Dun, 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 dun. Dark Forces. Well, see, I don't know. Like, is that, I'm wondering about that. Is that going to cause, do you think that's going to cause all kinds of, I mean, they wouldn't like, it's not going to be a copyright strike or anything. But all right. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay. MIDI music works. Oh, Kilgore, you are the perfect person to ask about this because you've done this. Star Wars MIDI music is okay? Is that what you're saying? Star Wars MIDI music is fine? No, I know there's royalty-free space music. I'm trying to find Star Wars music, though. Okay. All right. OST. Star Wars. OST MIDI. Okay. Okay, let me check that out. Has anyone noticed, by the way, that YouTube has been incredibly slow lately? Like, I mean, really laggy. Just YouTube. I don't know what it is. I don't use ad blockers, so I don't get it, but all right, let's see. So, Star Wars. Okay, so now soundtrack. All right, hang on. Lots of buffering, yeah. Okay. You've never had it muted. Do you use Kilgore? Do you use All right, let me play you this and see. That's not it. Ignore that. Not that. Okay. Let's see. No, that's the full. I need it to be MIDI. That's the full. I need MIDI. That's fine, right? That's fine, right? That's okay? Your Discord, you're sending me something? Oh, I see. Is that thank you, but is that okay, let me click on that. But I need to know if that's MIDI though. It's already muted. Oh, god damn it. I can't. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had my desktop audio off. Let me try that again. So you're talking about this? Is that fine? So I trust Kilgore on this because Kilgore has done this a million times. So if Kilgore thinks that works, that is from the original X-Wing. So, oh my goodness, so we just had a donation while I was doing all of this. Oh, Tony has sent along $10 to the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation to our cause, to ArvCon 2024. Thank you so much for doing that. So, no, I know. Not that one. I'm talking about the one that Kilgore just did. I'm asking Kilgore if that one that I played is fine. Okay. Now this is the one Echo sent. Oh, yeah. Okay. You know what? In that case, that also should work. All right, we're going to use this. Thank you, Echo, for sending that along. I appreciate it. We will use that. Okay, we will use that. You heard correctly, and thank you, Tony, so much for that. We really do appreciate that very much. Okay, it is a charity stream. So we are now at 23. Now that number there is not accurate. It's actually 2382 right now. So let me correct that. So as we're going through, please do contribute, because we want to get past 2,500 heading into the concert, which is going to be starting with Kilgore Trout at 6:15. And I don't know if you heard any of that, Kilgore, but basically what happened is that Johnny had a back situation pop up where he's not able to sit in front of the camera. He's like in incredible pain. So he's going to be doing the Dune premiere on Monday. And so the scientists have rescheduled their game to Monday. It may or may not be GM'd by Johnny. I have no confirmation of that, but somebody will GM it. So that's the deal with that. But that should not affect you at all, Kilgore. But that's what's going on. So there's been stuff happening behind the scenes. Kilgore will be our opening of our concert as we go through. Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah, no, it totally is. Yes. Okay, great. All right. So, yeah, here we go. So let's fire up this soundtrack here. Oh, and I have to, I have to change. So many things to think about. Okay, I have to change my live streaming here. Okay. 2024. Star Wars. Choose your destiny. The chat. Okay. And we will save that. And that switches us over. Great. All right, wonderful. Lovely. Here we go. Oh, the 45-minute set. Yes, that should be fine. That's no problem. Absolutely. Also, thank you for the anonymous donor who just gave us $25, which now puts us over that limit. So we are now sitting at, let's see, 2387.76 plus 20. So that is 2407.76. Very awesome. Thank you. So happy with how this is going, folks. I can't tell you it. It's been, even with all of the craziness behind the scenes, it's been a really lovely, lovely day. Let's keep it going. So can I just again thank Triffid? Can I thank Emily? Can I thank Drew? Can I thank Dragon Spear? Can I thank Hilmus? Can I thank Prince Justin? Can I thank Triffid again? Can I thank all of the wonderful mods who have done their work? And can I also thank, for doing all this incredible work behind the scenes, can I also thank Echo Alpha for not only multiple gift subs, but also for broadcasting this to all and sundry, and for giving the inspiration and all that kind of stuff, sending me the soundtrack. Thank you to them. Thank you to him. And can I also thank Effect Life for the work with ArcanaSpot, with ArvBot and all that kind of stuff. Thank you. All of that stuff is really, really awesome, and it makes a big difference. So thank you. Also, we just got another $21.24 donation, which now brings us up to $24.29 is what we're up to now. So $24.29. So thank you to everybody. $24.29. Thank you all. It really does make a difference. Thanks, Saber. I appreciate that, man. Okay, right. Let's do it. So, chat, it's time to fire up the music. I'm so hyped to do this with all of you. I can't even tell you. Even though we're doing this, it's kind of like we're doing it in this kind of weird, like, wait, what's happening? We're doing it live, but we're doing it live. All right, here we go. Chat, it is time to get hyped. All right. All right. Can everyone hear the music? Coming up now. Wait a second. Can everyone hear it? Aw, thanks. Well, it's my pleasure. It's my honor to do it. Ba, 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 ba. All right, here we go. Oh, wait. I got to actually turn on my... It'd be helpful if I turned on my Kindle, wouldn't it? Okay. A long time ago, a galaxy far, far away. Attention, reader. Han Solo and his Wookiee co-pilot Chewbacca are two of the galaxy's greatest smugglers, but they need your help. This book is full of choices. Choices that lead to different adventures. Choices that you must make to help Han and Chewie. Do not read the following pages straight through from start to finish. When you were asked to make a choice, follow the instructions to see where that choice will lead Han and Chewie next. Choose carefully, and may the Force be with you! Classicor has just contributed $17.17, saying, do not suffer the donation amount to be a rounded number. So that brings us up to $24.46.17. $24.46.17. Yay. $24.46.17. And so it begins. Here we go. I'm telling you, Chewie, Han Solo said as he checked the flight controls. This is easy money. It's the easiest we've ever made. The Millennium Falcon's cockpit was immediately filled with a barrage of disbelieving growls and grunts. Han frowned at the Wookiee in his co-pilot's seat. I mean it. All we have to do is deliver the cargo to Jabba. What's the problem? Chewbacca answered in his native language. Luckily, Han understood Shirawook. The problem was that Jabba the Hutt was one of the most dangerous crime lords in the galaxy. The last smuggler to cross the gruesome gangster had met an untimely end. Han still shuddered at the memory of the sound of crunching bones echoing around Jabba's throne room. Taking a job from Jabba was always risky. Things had a habit of going wrong, but this time would be different. The Millennium Falcon's cargo hold was packed with crates of stolen Imperial tech. Han didn't know why Jabba wanted the tech, and he cared even less. He just wanted to get paid. See? Han checked the navicomputer and prepared to make a course correction. Trust me, will you? He told Chewie. I've got a good feeling about this. With a flick of a lever, the Falcon dropped out of hyperspace. A sea of sparkling stars stretched out in front of them. It would have been beautiful, if not for the flotilla of imposing starships that blocked their path. It's an Imperial blockade! Han shouted as he slammed on the reverse engines, bringing the Falcon to an emergency stop. What's the Empire doing here? 3 Imperial Gozanti-class cruisers formed a checkpoint between the Falcon and the planets beyond, along with a Star Destroyer, 2 frigates, and countless TIE fighters that darted among the larger ships like angry wasps. A light flashed on the comm. A message was coming through. Unidentified cruiser, this is blockade control, cracked a clipped voice. You're not transmitting your ID code. There was a reason for that. All ships were required to automatically broadcast an IFF code, which identified them as a friend or a foe. Han had deactivated the Falcon's transmitter long before, after winning the ship from fellow smuggler Lando Calrissian in a game of Sabacc. Han liked to keep a low profile. He clicked a button to reply. That's an affirmative, Control. We have a fault in our transponder. Been meaning to get it fixed. Transmit your IFF now. Han could almost feel the Imperial cannons locking onto his position. Sure, he agreed, trying to sound cheerful. Stand by for transmission. Muting the comm, he turned to Chewie. Do we have any IFF codes? You bought codes from Asmorrigan? Are you crazy? The guy's a crook. Yeah, I know we're crooks, but at least we're honest crooks. The same could not be said of Asmorrigan. Han had been double-crossed by the Jablogian more times than he cared to remember, but he was running out of time. There was no guarantee Asmorrigan's codes would even work, but it was either that or blast their way through the blockade. What should Han do? Should he use Asmorrigan's code, or should he blast his way through the Imperial blockade? All right, I have opened a poll, chat. $vote space 1 if you think he should use as Morrigan's codes, or $vote space 2 if he should blast his ways through the Imperial blockade. Please get your votes in now. Let's do it. Get your votes in now. All of you are like, who's the one who voted to play? I'm really curious. Who? Oh, it doesn't actually. Oh, man. I didn't know who voted for whom. I have to go back. Who voted for Classicor? Classicor. Really? It's very funny. So anyhow, I started blasting. Okay. I'm going to last call this. We do have a couple of votes here. Both Classicor and Echo Alpha have decided to vote for this. Last call, last call. Keep your finger on the previous page. Hey, listen, I got my thing right here. I'm all good to go. Pew, 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 pew. Dude, this Kindle Scribe actually has saved me on multiple occasions. I really like this. I'm not wild about having to support Amazon in general, though, of course, we do approve of Amazon here at Twitch, our corporate overlords. But regardless, I mean, their Scribe has really been useful for me. I have one. That's what this is. It's a Kindle Scribe. I have found great use out of this. I've done a lot of reading on it. I have lots of physical books too, but like a lot of books now I get on the Kindle because it's just so much easier to carry, and because the battery life lasts forever, and because I'm able to do things like I just did here. Also, I can make notes on PDF, so I've had students that sent me papers and I can send them to here, and then I can literally like handwrite using the stylus. I can handwrite on it and then send it back to my email and have the comments that were made with there. So yeah, complete with a grin is exactly right. Also, hi, Crit Twitch. I had a Nook back in the day, live suing, but does not have the thing you can write on it as well. The battery life on this thing I bought this like 4 or 5 months ago. I have charged it once. And literally right now it is sitting at, let me see, what is it at? 49%, and I've charged it once in like 4 months. It's ridiculous. The battery life is absurd. Okay, here we go. All right, so you have chosen to use as Morrigan's codes. Let's see. Han reopened the channel. The controller wasn't happy. Unidentified ship, you will respond to this message. Repeat, you will respond or we will open fire. Okay, Han replied. I'm transmitting codes now. Han checked the IFF codes in the computer. There were 2 to choose from. One would identify the Vulcan as a medical transport, ferrying essential supplies to the western reaches. The other was for a consular ship on official business for the Imperial Senate. Neither was particularly believable. All right, chat, so here's the question. Should Han choose the medical ship code, or should he choose the diplomatic cruiser ship code? Medical ship is $vote space 1. Diplomatic cruiser ship is $vote space 2. Hi, Craigery. Again, remember, folks, donations are continuing here as we do this. Could not be happier with this day. Despite all of the problems, like in terms of like having to, like, you know, scramble, the money, we're doing a wonderful job on the money side. We are actually now, we've made more today than we did yesterday, so we're doing great there. And we're heading on towards the evening tonight. Would love to get us past 3,000 and on to 3,500 before we go into Eberron tomorrow, so. I'm digging this, actually. All right. Again, chat is largely in agreement, except Echo Alpha and Craigery think that diplomatic is the way to go. ICQ is being shut down? I didn't know it was still going either. My goodness. Wow. Thank you all who have been here, by the way, and who I haven't been able to say hi to during a very, very busy hours since we got started. We've been rolling now for 4 hours and 45 minutes, but it's been a lot. But thank you so much, everybody. Just wonderful warmth from the community, excitement, fun, and a lot of money raised so far, with a lot more to come for Damon Runyon. So thank you. Okay, great. All right, so we're going to last call this. Last call. Going once, going twice. Okay. So we are going to do that. All right, we're sending the medical ship. This better work, Han murmured, transmitting the code for the medical vessel. What was that? Asked the controller. Can't wait to get to work, Han lied. The Imperial officer didn't sound convinced. Checking now. The comm fell silent. Sweat prickled beneath Han's collar. If they discovered that the ID codes were fake... Everything is in order, the Imperial officer reported. You're free to proceed. We are? Han stammered, not quite believing their luck. I mean, we are. Thanks, we'll be on our way. You need to fix that transmitter. You bet, Han said, firing up the sublight engines. As soon as we deliver the medicine. Over and out. The controller wasn't finished yet. Where are you heading? The question stopped Han in his tracks. Sorry? Which planet? I originally served in the Western Reaches on Ratatak. Trust Han to get a chatty Imperial officer. Oh, you know, the Western Reaches. It's a big place. Lots and lots of planets. Which one? The controller asked again. Her tone had hardened. A big one. Sort of greeny, with oceans and trees. Lots of trees. Who doesn't like trees? He winced. This wasn't going well. Do you like trees? He asked weakly. I like planets with names, the controller snapped. Tell me your destination now. What should Han do? Make up a planet's name and hope for the best, or give up on the lie and try to blast his way through the blockade? So, $vote space 1, make up a planet's name, hope for the best. $vote space 2, give up on the lie and try to blast his way through the blockade. What's it going to be, chat? This is really funny. And by the way, in case people are curious, this is going to be going on until right around 6:15. Then at 6:15, Kilgore will be here. Kilgore will go from, I believe it is 6:15. Nope, not that one. From 6:15 to about 7. And then we will have Chrono Wolf coming on somewhere between right around 7:15 to 7:30. Then when he's done, right around 9 p.m. Eastern or close thereby, is where the incredible Waterdeep Dragon Heist crew will be coming about. The Shadow Crew, Community D&D, to wrap up ArvCon Day 2. So that's what we've got going on right now, in case people are curious. Oh, chat's a little more unsure about this. Now we have Darksaber, Classicore, and Echo have decided to blast through. But everyone else is like, nope, got to make up a planet. Make up something. Right, exactly what Effect Life said. Yep. I wish I could figure out a way. That's one thing I'm going to give feedback to Tiltify. I know why, because they don't want to make it where you could like game the system, but there's got to be some way to make it if for some reason something breaks down, because otherwise it means I have to basically manually add $20 the whole way, which is, you know, obviously I'm very happy to have the $20, and it's not the fault of the person who couldn't get it to work. It's just something that Tiltify should include in their campaigns going forward, so. All right. Going once as we hit the last call. Going twice. And oh my goodness. Suddenly we just got a donation. Wait a second. That Hillness contributes $41.85 saying, I can see the patterns. Okay, so that is now $24.8802. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. $24.8802. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you, Hillness, for the incredible generosity. Hillness has given, of course, a lot already. So thank you, everybody. That's really awesome. And very funny. We are almost halfway there, people. Now, my pattern. No, my pattern. Oh, no, but see, it's not. You got to figure the $20. Remember, Hillness? You got to see that. You got to add in your head $20. So we are less than $20 away from being halfway to our goal and breaking 2,500. We're almost there. Yeah. Well, someone's going to have to fix that pattern. That's all that is. Okay, we're going to close this, and here we go. Make up a planet's name, hope for the best. Han was running out of options. In cases like this, he had to do what he always did best. Lie. You want the name? Why didn't you say so? The planet's called, Why couldn't he think of any names? He looked at Chewie, but the Wookiee was no help. Han said the first thing that came into his head. Fuzzballia, he spluttered. Fuzzballia 7. The other end of the comm was silent. For a moment, Han thought his bluff was going to work, that the blockade controller would be so bored with the conversation she would wave the Falcon through. But then a tractor beam burst from the nearest Star Destroyer, locking them in place. Han tried to break the Falcon free, but the beam was too strong. He had gambled and lost. Jabba would never get his cargo now. The end. Can you go back and help Han make a better decision? Where will the adventure lead next time? All right. So we're going to jump back then to where we came from. So we did this. Because of the way this works, it's a little bit more, it's a choose your own adventure. So, all right. So we're going to have to give up on the lie and try to blast our way through the blockade. All right. Han considered making up the name of a planet, but what was the point? If the officer knew the Western Reaches as well as she claimed, she would see through the lie easily. Shutting down the comm, he cut off the increasingly irate officer. Some people just don't know when to zip it. No, it's like... No, it's not right. I can't do it. Bart's Chewie. That's closer. I know they're going to shoot us. Han snapped back as he gunned the engines. Whew. I know they're going to shoot us. Han snapped back as he gunned the engines. Next time, you do the talking. The Falcon shot forward, zooming toward the blockade. The Star Destroyer lay straight ahead, flanked by a Gozanti-class cruiser. Han swung around, putting them on a collision course with the smaller of the two vessels. Han opened fire, the Falcon's quad cannons raking the cruiser's bow. The Imperial ship shot back, but Han dropped into a roll, narrowly avoiding the volley of emerald green plasma. He streaked past the cruiser, heading for a gap between the two frigates. It was going to be tight, possibly too tight. Chewie understood what Han was planning to do and looked over at his friend in disbelief. "Trust me," Han replied. "I've done this before." Kind of. Realizing his foolhardy plan, the frigates started to move closer together, the gap narrowing by the second. Han turned the ship on its side. The Falcon shot through the gap, so close that its sensor disc scraped the standard frigate's hull. But then they were through, soaring into clear space. Chewie roared in approval. They'd made it. Or so they thought. In the excitement, they'd forgotten about the Star Destroyer. The colossal warship fired, its turbo lasers finding their target. The deadly energy struck the Falcon at point-blank range, surging through its shields. Systems blew from bow to stern, and fires ignited all across the ship as power lines ruptured and circuits overloaded. Han cried out as the console above his head exploded, a heavy panel dropping to pin him against the dashboard. Taking control of the ship, Chewbacca steered the Falcon away from the TIE fighters that had dropped into pursuit. "I'm fine," Han lied, shoving the twisted panel off his wounded shoulder. The ship shuddered as the nearest starfighter unloaded its lasers into their already damaged hull. Han imagined the TIE's black-clad pilot hunched over his targeting computer. He'd be searching for the quickest way to blast the Falcon into space dust. "Well, not today, pal," Han promised through his pain. The Falcon was about to fire back. Who should fire the Falcon's cannons, Han or Chewbacca? If you think it should be Han, $vote space 1. If you think it should be Chewie, $vote space 2. Who fires? Oh my God, how does anybody do a Wookiee thing? Okay. Oh, this is a close one. This is a close one. Chewie has the boltcaster. This is perfect for this. All right, last call. 6 votes for Han, 5 votes for Chewie. Yeah, let's go. The cruiser coming in. Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. Right? I love the keyword as usual, Triffid. Great stuff. All right. And Han it is. Han pushed himself up. I'll take the cannons. You get us out of here. Chewie called after him, but Han wasn't listening. He could barely think with the pain in his shoulder, which was only made worse by the climb down to the cannons. But Han refused to give up. No one could man the Falcon's guns better than he could. He knew that weapon system better than anyone. Wincing, Han dropped into the gunner's seat and tried to lock onto the nearest starfighter. It was impossible. His shoulder was seizing up, making it difficult to aim. He fired, but his shots went wide, missing the TIE completely. Their Imperial pilot had no such trouble. The TIE fighter blasted the Falcon, knocking out the already damaged engines with a single shot. Han gripped his aching shoulder as his ship shook violently. The blockade controller's voice boomed over the comm, telling them that a shuttle was on its way and they should prepare to be boarded. They were sunk. For now, at least. They'd find a way to escape, but it wasn't going to be easy. Han sighed. If only he had let Chewie man the cannons. The end. Can you go back and help Han make a better decision? Where will the adventure lead this time? Alright, so codes. Medical ship. Blast for the blockade. Page 6. Alright. So Chewbacca now. I voted for Chewie. I feel vindicated. There you go. I'll take the cannons, Han said, levering himself out of his seat. He didn't get far. Pain coursed through his shoulder, forcing him to shout out. Chewie bellowed as Han flopped helplessly back into the chair. You're right, Han admitted, clutching his throbbing arm. I'll never be able to aim. You go. The Wookiee charged out of the cockpit, heading for the Falcon's lower gun turret. Reaching the rotating pod, Chewie grabbed the headset that would connect into Han in the cockpit. 3 of them, coming in fast, Han said over the comm. Teach those bucketheads a lesson. Activating the targeting system, Chewie grabbed hold of the firing grips. Another direct hit shook the ship, and a TIE fighter howled past Chewbacca's gun. Locking onto the starfighter, Chewie tracked its path and squeezed the triggers. The Falcon's cannons bucked, sending scarlet bolts screaming after the TIE. Chewbacca bellowed in frustration. As the starfighter veered sharply to the left, the shots dissolving harmlessly in the void. I give to you, Angry Chewbacca! Angry, firing gun Chewbacca. All right? You nearly had him, pal, Han yelled in his ear. Keep going. Chewbacca swiveled around, the targeting computer beeping as it once again zeroed in on the fighter. Chewie fired again, and this time the TIE erupted in a dazzling explosion. 1 down, 2 to go. The last thing Chewie needed was a countdown from Han. He'd already spotted the second starfighter zooming in for the kill, and he had the Imperial pilot right where he wanted. There was no way Chewbacca could miss. With a satisfied grunt, Chewie squeezed the trigger. Nothing happened. There were no lasers, no explosions, nothing. Chewie tried again, shaking the firing grip, but the guns were dead. The TIE fighter's lasers flared in the darkness. Warning lights flashed all over the cockpit. That last strike had been bad. The Falcon's shields were failing, and at least a dozen power lines had blown. Chewie? Han yelled into the comm. Talk to me, pal. A wail behind him nearly made Han jump out of his seat. Han twisted around, ignoring the stabbing pain in his shoulder as Chewie rushed back into the cockpit. I know the guns aren't working, Han replied, relieved his friend was okay, but snapping back to business. The remaining 2 starfighters had dropped into an attack run, ready to finish them off. The power converters are smashed, and the shield generators are hanging on by a thread. The sudden blare of an alarm forced him to correct his diagnosis. Okay, the shield generators are gone. This is going to be bumpy. Han threw the ship into a spin as the TIE fighters came out of nowhere, their lasers missing the Falcon by a hair. Han grimaced as he tried to pull around. His shoulder felt like it was on fire, and the controls were getting more sluggish by the second. Even with its armor plating, another direct hit would disable the Falcon once and for all. I'm going to attempt lightspeed, Han said. It was their only chance. TIE fighters couldn't make the jump to hyperspace, and even if the rest of the blockade followed, the Falcon could outrun the fastest Imperial ship. Priming the hyperdrive, Han gritted his teeth and yanked back the control. There was a jolt and a shudder, and you hear, and the hyperdrive panel exploded beneath Han's hands. You called in reinforcements? Reinforcements from... Reinforcements? Where was I? That's just perfect, Han said, blowing on his scorched fingers. Now the hyperdrive's gone too. Chewie counted the number of TIE fighters that were now on their tail. Han stopped him when he got to 7. How about you do something more useful, Han, like getting the weapons back up and running again? But Chewie had another idea. Oh my goodness, we got a raid from Benez 256. Welcome, raiders. Hey, welcome everyone. Hello to Draconic Dude. Hello again to Babylon Zool. Good to see you again. Hello to Tony68. Good to see you. Welcome, Jabu. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for the raid, everyone. Thank you, Echo, for letting people know about this. Thank you, Kaylee Lou. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to Benez. Thank you so much for the raid, folks. And thank you, Echo, for letting them know. Welcome to ArvCon 2024. This is a little bit of an audible here. We have a bunch of tabletop events planned all weekend. Already today, we had an interview with the scientists. We had the Talisman Adventures finale. We had a major announcement of a new tabletop role-playing game actual play group. Yesterday, we had Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, which is another tabletop game. We had the first part of a concert. Tonight at 6:15, we have 2 more people, Kilgore Trout and Chrono Wolf, doing a concert. More D&D tonight with the community D&D crew. More D&D tomorrow with a marathon session of Eberron. And then Monday, we have got a scientist, Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation scientist game of Star Wars. And then we have got the premiere of Dune Imperium with Johnny Pittman as GM. So we got a lot of amazing stuff happening. But that said, at the moment, the person who's supposed to GM the scientist game has a back injury and so was unable to do it. He can't sit in front of the camera. He's in too much pain. So we are audibling it to Star Wars. We are playing a Choose Your Own Destiny Star Wars game with chat. So please join us. Please become part of the vote. And please also, if you haven't already done so, check out our charity. It is the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. They do amazing work. We have raised over $30,000 for them in the last 9 years. This is our 10th annual ArvCon, and we are just about 50% of our way through the goal and are not quite 50%. We're not 50% of the way through the event. So we are only not even like 40%, I guess. We're 40% of the way through. So you can do that now. ! Donate. We have a ton of giveaways going on in chat as well. Thank you so much, Raiders. Thank you, Echo, for letting them know. All right. Let's see. Chewie counted the number. Oh, yeah, he said that. Han shook his head. Repairing the hyperdrive will take too long. You'll have to reroute the field stabilizers and... I hear you, buddy, but you don't have time to fix both. Weapons or hyperdrive. It's one or the other. All right. We have just gotten a donation of $10, which brings us down to $24.98.02. All right, let me adjust that. Thank you so much for the donation, $24.98.02. Reminder that it is the number that's at the top left is off by $20 because someone wasn't able to use the whatchamacallit, Tiltify, so they had to donate directly and then sent me a screenshot, which they did. So we are now less than $2 away from that $2,500 50% through goal. We are getting there. We are making great progress. Thank you as well to all the sponsors and the giveaway folks as well. Oh, really, Saber? Yeah. See? Okay. So here's the question, chat. Should Chewie fix either the weapon system or the hyperdrive system? Chat, you can do this. $ vote space and the number 1 means you're voting for Chewie to fix the weapons. $ vote space and the number 2 means you are voting for Chewie to fix the hyperdrive. And in case you're curious, you are surrounded by a bunch of TIE fighters, an Imperial cruiser, and yeah. So yes, thank you for doing that. Hey, Tim Coolish. All right. Last call, last call. Last call. Okay. Yeah, the Lone Wolf series, Saber. I had the whole bunch of those. We've run through a bunch of those on here. All right, here we go. So we have decided for Chewie to fix the hyperdrive. Okay, let's see. Han raised his hands in surrender as Chewie continued to argue. Okay, you win. Fix the hyperdrive. Anything to shut you up. Chewbacca grabbed his tools and bustled out of the cockpit. There's no need to worry, Han told himself. Chewie can fix anything. I taught him everything he knows. He glanced at the rear monitors. The ties were gaining fast. He needed to buy Chewie more time, but how? He did have one idea, but he was pretty sure it would never work. Okay, what does Han do? Does he dump their cargo in space to create a distraction, or does he power down the engines and pretend to surrender? So $ vote space 1 means he dumps their cargo in space to create a distraction. $ vote space 2 means he powers down the engines and pretends to surrender. Yeah, absolutely, Saber. I don't know the answer to that question, actually. I'm not sure. I would need to look into the lore. It doesn't say it in the book. At least not the initial part of the book, anyway. No, I know. Canonically, I know. I don't honestly know where it is. Like, I'm not sure where this is in the timeline, to be honest. Is this that disastrous run that got him the carbonite display treatment? Yeah, oh, that's true. That would make sense, right? He does the whole, like, even I get boarded sometimes. Yeah, like, that's interesting. Live suing, are you saying that Greedo shot first? Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. I was waiting for chat to be like, Han shot first. Oh, good times. Okay. Last call. Greedo defeated himself. Yeah, it's true. Greedo that's what Han should have done. He should have, like, shot him, stood up, and be like, congratulations, you played yourself. That's what he should have done. What are you talking about, Prince Justin? I am an innocent man. I'm just here raising money for cancer research, you know, with wonderful best viewers on Twitch. That's all I'm doing. It's very simple. Yeah, you could more or less say that. All right. Going once. Going twice. Okay. So, Chad has decided to dump the cargo in space. It was an utterly terrible idea. The Falcon's cargo belonged to Jabba the Hutt. Jabba would react badly if any of it didn't reach Tatooine. In fact, the overgrown space slug would probably rip Han's head from his shoulders and freeze him in carbonite. Spoiler. No, just kidding. But hey, what use was a head if Han was atomized by a squad of TIE fighters first? Jabba will understand, he told himself as he punched a series of buttons above his head. He's an understanding guy, right? The computer beeped that it was ready. Han put a finger on his comlink. Chewie, you better hang on to something. I'm about to do something stupid. Chewie asked over the comm. Really stupid, Han confirmed, and Jab won final control. Behind the Falcon, the TIE fighters dropped into a standard attack formation. They were almost in range, the squadron leader eager to take the shot himself. He smiled behind his black helmet, the expression faltering as their prey's airlock suddenly opened. Crates streamed from the back of the Millennium Falcon. Large crates. Heavy crates. Solid crates. Before he could pull up, the leader's TIE fighter barreled into the dumped cargo and exploded on impact. Han didn't watch his improvised minefield reduce the rest of the TIE fighters to scrap. He was too busy trying to close the airlock. The Falcon was decompressing. The air inside the ship was getting sucked through the open door into the cold vacuum of space. At that rate, everything in the Falcon would get dragged with it, Han included. With a final cry of defiance, Han slapped his hand down on the override. The airlock sealed and all was calm. Han panted heavily as an indicator over his head flashed from red to blue. The hyperdrive was working again. Good work, Chewie, Han cheered, rerouting the hyperdrive controls to another panel in front of him. Chewie responded by asking what had happened to the cargo. Jabba won't mind, Han replied. What's a few crates among friends? The Millennium Falcon leapt into hyperspace. They had run the Imperial blockade and survived. Hey, watch it! While Chewbacca was an excellent co-pilot, the Wookiee made for a lousy nurse, but he tried his best to apply back-to-soaked bandages to Han's shoulder. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Chewie pulled the bandages even tighter. Ow! Han swatted Chewie's hand away. Tell you what, I'll do it myself. The bandages in place, Han pulled on his shirt. The Falcon's hull creaked ominously. Han put his hand on the nearest wall, feeling the vibrations through his palm. The old girl had taken a pummeling. Most of her systems were offline, but at least they were safe, the autopilot guiding them through hyperspace. Or so they thought. The deck lurched violently beneath Han's feet, throwing him against Chewie. The hyperdrive's cut out, Han said as they raced for the cockpit, bouncing off the bulkheads with every shake and shudder. I thought you fixed that thing. He tumbled through the hatch, stopping short when he saw the huge flame-colored planet in front of them. We're caught in its gravitational pull, Han said, dropping into the seat in front of the flight controls. Reverse engines, full power. They continued thundering toward the planet. I said full power. But it was no good. Han checked a readout. Propulsion systems have failed. There's no way to break free. They were deep in the planet's atmosphere, plunging through clouds the color of molten lava. If they couldn't escape the planet's atmosphere, they'd have to land. Most of the planet's surface seemed to be covered in dense jungle, the odd outcrop of jagged mountains rising from the trees. Han was the best pilot he knew, but even he couldn't land a ship he could barely steer. The only other option was to abandon ship. There was a chance that the escape pods wouldn't launch, but they had ejection packs stowed in the main hold. Could he bear to abandon the Falcon? What does Han decide to do? Should he abandon ship, that's $vote space 1, or try to land $vote space 2? All right. $vote space 1 for abandon ship, $vote space 2 for try to land. I got to run down and grab something. I will be right back up. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. And get those votes in and donate. Okay. Alrighty. I like that everyone has decided to. They're like, you can't give up the Falcon. Like, you can't do that. You just can't give up. You can't give it up. Don't give up. You still have Han. Okay. All right. Last call. Last call. Yeah, there you go, imaginary exponent, exactly. They would never actually do this. Okay. And we're going to close that because chat has decided. Try to land. No way, Han thought. Not today, not ever. He gripped the yoke with renewed vigor. Chewie, divert everything we have to the emergency repulsors. Chewbacca's fingers flew over the controls and the repulsors whined as all remaining power flooded the propulsion system. Han tested the controls. The Falcon responded, shifting slightly to the right. Yes, they could do this. They could take the Falcon down safely. But where? Han had only two choices, jungle or mountainside. What do you think, pal? He asked Chewbacca. Soft or hard landing, what's it going to be? Okay, should we land the Falcon in the jungle? That's $vote space 1. Or land the Falcon on the mountainside? That's $vote space 2. Oh. Thank you. What is that? What is it?
It's for the pancakes.
Oh, cool. Okay. Very cool. Thank you, sweetheart. The little Arv is here, by the way, everybody. There we go. We have raised almost $2,500 so far. That is the amazing little Arv. So what we're doing right now is she has just brought me, first of all, pancakes. Please note, pancakes. That's where it's about. I'm going to be eating these pancakes when the concert begins. Trust me. So the person who's supposed to do the game with the scientists threw his back out basically and is in too much pain. Right. So what we're playing. Oh, I told you all that. Well, what we're playing right now is a Choose Your Own Destiny, Han and Chewie book with chat as we're doing. Well, no, but actually, as it turns out, it was Star Wars, and it's been a ton of fun because I do a lot of this stuff with the, Choose Your Own Adventure stuff with chat all the time. So that actually worked out. Say again? Yeah, of course, 100%. Okay, yeah, no, I'd love to have you up here. I'll have to change my set list for pancake music. Listen, that pancake music. It's from a local place here, which is a very good place. And this breakfast place called the Tasty Yolk makes this thing called berry pancakes with like blue. Oh man, super good. I am super excited. I have leftover cereal. I have a thing of cottage cheese that I haven't been able to touch because I've been too busy. But when the concert starts, there will be pancakes consumed. I am looking forward to it. So it's going to be a good time. I love breakfast. Honestly, I enjoy eating. I enjoy food. But like, if I go to a diner, I generally have to get a breakfast. I don't know why. I'm just kind of like my dad and I, when I were a kid, we used to go to like the IHOP International House of Pancakes. This is a cheap little place. But like a chain, but I'm saying like it's not like an amazing breakfast place, but I don't know. I always associate good things with breakfast. So. I mean, because everything's good in it. Sausage is good in it. Not only have I been to Waffle House, Prince Justin, I understand that Waffle House is a meme, okay? I don't care what anybody says. They do make good waffles. I'm just telling you. Like, I understand that their food may be whatever, but their waffles are good. I've had them. They're good. I don't know what to say. They're good. And I actually technically prefer waffles slightly to pancakes. For me, it goes waffles, pancakes, French toast, although I like all of them. So, You know what I'm saying, Geister? Like they're not bad. You wouldn't expect them to make good tires. Well, no, because they're really cheap and everything. So everyone always like jokes around like, oh, Waffle House is cheap. But like, it's good, right? Oh, you've been there, yeah. There are so many Waffle Houses in the South. It's like the old Starbucks joke in Shrek, whatever it is, Shrek 1 or 2, where like you can see them across the road. There's like a Starbucks. Everyone runs across the road to the other Starbucks. That's what it's like with Waffle House. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, so if you just want to like carefully move things around, like if you can move that picture to on top of that. Actually, this is a good time to show this now that I think of it. Yes, exactly. All right, folks, a couple of reminders here. The 3 top donors are going to get some cool stuff, okay? The 3rd top donor is going to get, you can move all of that in there. Just don't change the files. Okay. The 3rd top donator is going to get this D&D prize pack, which consists of Candlekeep Mysteries, which consists of keys from the Golden Vault, which I'm actually looking forward to running at some point, and which includes this dice set. So that's the 3rd top donator is going to get that. The 2nd top donator is going to get this extraordinary photograph from the amazing Prince Justin. And you can see that there is a kickstand on the back. So you can either frame it, obviously, or just put it up on the wall. Well, you'd have to frame it to put it up on the wall. So frame it, or you could put it on your desk like that. That's going to go to the 2nd top donator. And the top donator, is going to get this from Drew the Damager. And that is this super, super amazing dark starry night sky with that tower with graffiti in the front. Super cool. And as you can see, also put on metal and can also be hung. So that's going to go to the top donator. If people want these hand delivered to them in the UK, they have a chance. I'm glad you asked that question, Darksaber. Is it true that if people want these hand delivered to them in the UK, they can have them delivered in August? That would be accurate, Darksaber, because I'm going to be going to the UK in August, as announced today, as a part of Buy the Dice Roll, the play group featuring Darksaber 2K and others. So anyway, yes, that is going to be the case. Although, if we have a ton of people in the UK, I probably won't be able to deliver all of them to you in August because I am but one person with a family. But I'll just have little Arv carry all of it. Oh, we got a donation. And the donation is 21 something. I think that's Mrs. Dunsel, if I see that correctly. Yes, Mrs. Dunsel has done $21.98, which is going to bring us to, let me see, that's 25, and it's actually 25.20 because we're slightly lower than that. Unable to do that. So 25.20, we are officially over 50% of our goal, and we are not even 50% of the way through. Thank you, Mrs. Dunsel. So good to see you here. Thank you, thank you. Also, I just want to let people know that Team Chaos, you have fallen back again because now it is an even number again. Just letting you know. Team Chaos, which wants even numbers, has been battling back against uneven like cents and figures. Team Chaos. So Order and Chaos has been battling. Yeah. So hold my blaster. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate that. Super great. So much good being done for Damon Runyon. I'm so happy about it. Let's keep it going. It's been great today. Plus, we've had tons of subs. We've had great turnout all day. It's been really, really good day. Okay. Despite all of the the last minute things. Thank goodness for Arcanus Bot and for my chat here. Okay. Oh, right. It's right. We were voting. All right. Last call. So the decision is Chad has decided to touch down the Millennium Falcon in the jungle. Hurt, answered Chewie. I was thinking the same thing myself, said Han, wrestling with the controls. Centimeter by painful centimeter, the Falcon banked toward the jungle. The top donator right now, I believe. Let me take a quick look here. The current top donator, I see we got another one. The current, I'll talk about that in a minute. The current top donator is definitely not Bruce at $300. Right behind that is, I believe, Hillness, and right behind Hillness is Dragon Spear. So that is the deal. Also, Classicor just donated $12.34 saying, quote, no order for you. This totally works, I'm telling you. Okay. And that's 25, 32, 34. So give me a second here. 25, 32, 34.
You just like making things harder for Arv.
I'll take it. If it gets more money to this foundation, I'll get it. Okay. So, exotic birds burst from the thick canopy ahead of them, spooked by the falcon's nosy descent. Han was pretty spooked himself. If he could just use the trees, I'm going to zoom out slightly here because the camera's like, who do I focus on? If he could just use the trees to cushion their landing. Here we go. The ship plowed into the trees. Trunks splintered like twigs, the ragged stumps tearing chunks of armor plating from the Falcon's bow, creating chaos, just like the Chaos team just did with contributing more money to the Damon Running Cancer Research Foundation. Han and Chewie hung on to their controls as the cruiser carved a chaotic path through the jungle. Branches slammed against the viewport and the ship finally made contact with the ground. The Falcon bounced once before skidding on its belly, gouging a deep trench. With one final bone-shattering jolt, the ship shuddered to a halt, smoke billowing from its engines. There you go, chat. There is the smoke billowing. Smoke billowing from the engines, chat. You've had the stream running all day. Got to go back out. We can't wait for it. No, that's totally awesome, Drew. I appreciate that, and we'll see you tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm really happy with all of the. This has been great so far. We made $1,220 yesterday. We have made over $1,300 today. We can clearly get past $3,000. I want us to head towards $3,500 or beyond, and really put us in a great position going into tomorrow, into day 3. So, absolutely loving this. Yeah, no, I mean. Live Swing, why would you mention that the smoke trail can be seen for miles? I don't see why that would be a problem. I'm sure that everyone on this planet is friendly. Han opened one eye cautiously. As far as he could tell, they were down and safe. Sunlight streamed through the windows, the transparent steel miraculously free of cracks. He let out a whoop of joy and relief. Forgetting Han's injuries, Chewbacca slapped him on the shoulder, killing him instantly. No, I made that part up. But Han didn't care. They had made it. That was all that mattered. Now they just had to check the damage. Well, I've seen worse. They were standing in the clearing the Falcon had carved through the trees. While Chewie sifted through the debris, Han, walked a wide circle around his ship. The starfighter's lasers had blackened the Falcon's hull, but a few scorch marks didn't bother Han. The main repairs were going to take time, and they were missing a few essential components. The crash had damaged the power core's primary heat exchanger. Han was convinced the ship could still get them off planet, but Chewie wasn't so sure. Han has died from dysentery, yeah. They went to work, starting with the hull. Chewie crouched beneath the ship, welding cracks in the armor plating, while Han climbed up top to repair the fuel line to the primary cannon. They worked in silence, the stillness of the jungle punctuated by the calls of strange birds and the monotonous chirp of insects. It was peaceful, almost calming. It was a pleasant change from being shot at. Crack! Han looked up at the sound of splintering wood. He peered into the trees for a moment before clambering down to Chewbacca. You hear that? Chewie nodded, wiping his hands on an oily rag. Han's hand dropped instinctively to the blaster he wore in a holster on his right leg. What do you think it was, a wild animal? Crack! There it was again, behind them that time. Han spun around. Chewie grumbled. Han's eyebrows shot up. You want me to go? You're the one who can rip arms out of their sockets. Besides, for all we know, it's just an ash rabbit or something. Imagine that, the big bad Wookiee scared of a little bunny. Han was uneasy too, although he would never admit it. They were being watched. He was sure of it. Should Han investigate? $vote space 1? Nah, it's probably just an ash rabbit. $vote space 2? Yeah, you can never be too careful. All right, what do you think, chat? Should Han investigate or not? If he should investigate, $vote space 1. If he shouldn't, $vote... Oh, sorry. If he should not investigate, $vote space 1. If he should investigate, $vote space 2. I want to make sure I get that right. Yes, you can change your vote. $ change vote. That's one word. $ change vote space and then the number you want to change it to, and it will change your vote. Dragonspawn. And again, this amazing bot, by the way, is brought to you by Effect Life, who programmed Arcanus Bot, programmed ArvBot Plus, based upon the work that was done originally by Netawin, one of my original mods way back in the day, who designed an early version of ArvBot, which was great too. But Effect Life has taken that and made it into something extraordinary. There's a question system in here. There's a giveaway monitor, as you can see. There's all kinds of things. You could do multi-votes. We use these for our Fighting Fantasy Gamebook things every month. So very, very cool. You should have called it Effect Bot. Nearly unanimous. Well, right now we have Craigery, who thinks that, nah, it's probably an Ash Rabbit. Last call. Oh, I didn't know that. That you developed a Discord bot for Dragonspawn? Listen, anytime anything, first of all, any friend of Effect Life is, I think I did know this, actually, yes. I do know this. I do know that you know each other, yes. And I know why you know each other. I won't get into that, but I know why. Yes. But anytime Effect Life can do anything for anybody regarding, Effect Life is amazing at that stuff, so. This is the repair music chat. Thanks to the Echo for sending this along, by the way, because this is a good call, the Dark Forces soundtrack here. You can vote on Monday night, too. No, Monday is going to be different. Monday is going to be a Star Wars game with the scientists that should be a tabletop role-playing game once I find a GM for it. But that's going to be happening on Monday and that'll be Monday morning, actually, Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Eastern to 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Donate. Yeah. You can definitely donate. You can donate all the way up until, I'm going to leave the campaign up afterwards because we usually get a straggler donation or two. But the official end of ArvCon 2024, at least the live portion of it, is going to be happening at about 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday. We have the Scientist game now on Monday, and then we have the premiere of Dune Imperium, Plans Within Plans, happening on Monday as well. So yes. All right, so it looks like chat has made its decision. And it looks like, yeah, you can never be too careful. Chewie gave Han a shove toward the trees. All right, I'll go look, you big bloggin'. Han drew his blaster. Wait till Maz hears about this. Something glinted up ahead. A speeder bike sat in a small clearing. Han recognized the model, a Kaylee Merced Skyblade 330. He hadn't seen one in years, not since his run-in with Enfys Nest marauders. Keeping his eyes on the trees, he snuck forward, reaching for the engine. It was still warm. Laser fire whistled past Han's ear. Pew! He ducked and rolled, taking cover behind a thick tree. Han looked around the trunk to see who was firing. It was a young Twi'lek woman dressed in leather and holding a snub-nosed blaster rifle. Not just any rifle, a Zerka 4000. Han knew the weapon. The power pack would need to recharge every 9 shots. Cocking his own blaster, Han counted out her blasts, and on the 9th he turned and fired at the woman's rifle. Now, here's the question, chat. First of all, yes, it is blogging. So here's a nice picture, just so you can see. There's Han, making fire, being fired at. So here's the question, chat. Does Han make the shot or not? Does Han make the shot? $ vote space 1 means no, he does not make the shot. $ vote space 2 means yes, he does make the shot. Right, he fired at her weapon. Yep. $ vote space 1, no, he does not make the shot. $ vote space 2, yes, he makes the shot. Towards the weapon. Or are you in? It's $ vote space 1 to say no, $ vote space 2 to say yes. Well, I see someone that I know. I wonder who that could be. It's a mystery.
Absolutely crazy.
It is a tie. Generally, it's Dragonspear who does that. So we are tied 4-4. Who will break this tie? Who will win this titanic struggle? Yeah, I won't tell you why I know them exactly, Glasgow. All right, what's it going to be, chat? What say you? Hmm. Live suing tried to vote. You can use a credit card. Yep. You can use a credit card. You can also do financial. Oh, thank you, Echo. Echo has gifted you 3 months of a tier 1 sub. I mean, assuming you were Sunny Sunny.
Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know. It means that you may have a sub to my channel with, emotes that you can use and all that good stuff.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Echo.
I don't know what any of that means.
Serenade you with your wondrous voice, my wondrous voice, while I clear weeds from a 5-acre lot. Okay, I'm going to do it to this music. Ready, Tilted? 5-acre lot. Boy, those weeds are just as much a lot. Oh, weeds a lot. I know that place is gonna be like a bot. I wish I had a robot to weed this place. I wish it wouldn't fall back in my face. The only way I can be is to be this way now. I'm gonna make this weeding now. Woo, no now. Woo. $vote space 1 is what you're looking for, live suing. Thank you for the backup. No, $vote live suing it. The word. You have to do the word. $vote. The literal word. $vote space and then the number. Right now you're just giving us $1. There it is. Thank you, live suing. That was funny. You're like, no, I'm doing it. I'm like, no, you're giving us $1, which, no complaints against dollars. All right. There we go. So, according to live suing, he does not make the shot. Han's shot went wide, missing the woman's rifle. But the energy bolt cut deep into the tree behind her, slicing into the trunk like an axe. She turned just as it toppled forward, knocking her to the side. Hurt! Bellowed as he crashed into the clearing to find Han checking on the woman, who had been knocked unconscious by the falling tree. Now he arrives, Han said, grabbing a handful of vines. With a grunt, he ripped them free and threw them at the Wookiee. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, good. It's still doing that thing. Great. It should be. Tie up her hands, will you? Chewie caught the vines and rumbled a question. How am I supposed to know where she came from? Han replied. What does it matter? We'll be long gone by the time she wakes up. The repairs took longer than either of them expected. Night had fallen by the time Han scrambled out from beneath the Falcon's undercarriage. Yawning, he turned and found himself staring down the barrel of a blaster. His hand went to his holster, but before he could shoot, a laser bolt hit him in the chest. He was thrown back, stunned. Hands grabbed him, dragging him in front of a pair of oversized black boots. He looked up to see a blurry figure above him. He could just make out 2 sets of muscular arms and a broad face covered in thick green scales. The reptilian was wearing dirty overalls, complete with a patch proclaiming what Han could only assume was its name. Han tried to focus on the writing. His vision was still blurred, but he could just make out the letters, No-Do. Who are you? Hissed the alien, glowering down at him. And who do you work for? Who does Han say he works for? Himself? That's $vote space 1. Jabba the Hutt? That's $vote space 2. Who's he work for? Himself or Jabba the Hutt? Himself, $vote space 1. Jabba the Hutt, $vote space 2. Who does number 2 work for? Yeah, you have to do $vote. Yeah. As many times as Arvin has eaten bagels on stream while waiting, Sunny Senny, I feel you just won the largest sandwich eaten on stream. Congratulations, says Emily. Was that from also from Tustio? What is it? Isn't it called the Clucker or something? Oh, on the special menu. You saw it. Outstanding. I'm going to eat as soon as the concert starts, which is going to be happening in about 15 minutes to a half hour. We have Kilgore Trout, one of my regular viewers and streamer himself, is playing. He plays every year. He's going to be playing guitar. And then Chrono Wolf, and you know Chrono Wolf, right, is going to be doing the next one after that. And then it's going to be Community D&D, which is Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So, yes, I'm excited for all of that. Let's keep it real. There's video evidence it was huge. Well, look, I mean, and I got Chrono Wolf's info lined up. Yeah, I'm excited to have him back. Very excited to have him back. Little Birdie told me he might have a little bit of, it might not be just Chrono Wolf on his own either. He might be getting some assistance. Hilness has a question for Little Arv. Yeah, Zach was great. Last call, last call. As soon as Hilness asks his question, I'm going to close this. Yep. Yeah, he is. Did you know that Two Towers and Aragorn kicks the helmet? Viggo Mortensen broke his toe.
Yes, I know that. Oh my gosh. Yes, I know that. Everyone knows that. Literally my favorite meme. Everyone says it. I'm so ready to show one of my friends. I'll never show this because I'm interested, but I want to show one of my friends Lord of the Rings and be like, "Did you know?"
Are you aware of that? You know? Oh my God. Yeah. That's literally, yeah. And he kept his composure through all of it. Like, he didn't break character. I'm like, that's metal right there. Like, that's
Very impressive.
yeah, it was impressive. All right. Little Arv and I have both, of course, met Hiln, and I had already. Okay, let me back up. We had already met Hilness in person at Gen Con, but we actually got to watch, because Hilness got tickets for the same show that we did, when we went to see the Two Towers with the live concert, which also featured our mutual friend Rob, Darkside Rob, in the chorus, in the choir, with the orchestra. And we have already gotten tickets for Return of the King, which is going to be next. I mean, because we have to. Like, it's been an incredible experience, right? Like both times. Like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So super, super cool. Yeah. It was like, that was an insta buy. You know how everyone's always like, don't get advanced tickets because of blah, 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 blah. That was one that popped in my email box, and I'm like, I insta buy this. Like,
Oh my gosh. They all stood up and was like,
so good. Oh my gosh. All right. So the answer is, you're going to say he works for himself. My name's Han Solo, we told him, and I work for myself. Then no one will miss you, Noda replied, grinning horribly. Take him back to the yard. Something cold clamped around Han's neck. Nearby, he heard Chewie growl. Get a shock collar on the Wookiee, too, Noda ordered. What are you going to do to us? Han asked, trying to pull the heavy collar from his neck. Nodo's hands went to a control on his belt, and Han cried out as electricity arched out of the collar. Nodo loomed over him as Han gasped for breath. That's what happens if you try to take off your collar. From this day on, you work for me, Han Solo. And so does your Wookiee. The end. Can you go back and help Han make a better decision? Where will the adventure lead next time? All right, so it's not that. It was Jabba the Hutt. So we've had 3 times so far that Chad has chosen incorrectly. All right. Well, yeah, because no, not this one, but like there have been other ones in the book. Like at one point, what was the one chat that was like Han fire the gun with an injured shoulder? That didn't work out. Or, you know. Okay. Fail count 3. Yeah, thank you, Driven. My name's Han Solo, and I work for Jabba the Hutt. Is that so? And maybe I'll pay a ransom for your safe return. Han snorted. Jabba? Waste credits on us? Don't make me laugh. Only one way to find out, Nodo said, turning to his men. Take him back to the yard. He heard Chewie roar in anger, only to be silenced by a stun beam. And if Jabba doesn't pay? Han asked as he was pushed toward the trees. Nodo stopped and turned back, grinning horribly. Then we put you to work. Something healthy and heavy, blah, blah. Something healthy. Kale was clapped around his throat. No, something heavy and cold was clamped around Han's neck. A shock collar. He'd be forced to work or receive an electric shock. At least I still have Chewie, Han thought. Han and Chewie had gotten out of a fair number of scrapes and sticky situations before. They would just have to find a way to work together to get out of this one too. But their new boss seemed even worse than Jabba. As they were led through the trees, Han made himself a promise. Once they escaped this joker, they'd never work for anyone else ever again. The end. Can you go back and help Han make a better decision? So you know where this all went wrong, chat? It all went wrong when you people believed, when you all believed that Han would miss the shot. That was where things went wrong. That was the problem, okay?
I said from the shoot.
Well, I mean, did you say that he made the shot? Yeah. I know, right? Okay. So we go back to, does Han make the shot? Han's shot, there we go. Han's shot struck the rifle. Let's see. Jolting it out of the woman's hands, but she darted into the jungle before Han could stun her with another blaster shot. Then he heard a familiar roar. Hurt! Han found the woman struggling to escape from Chewbacca, who had her in an easy headlock. Nice shot, she snarled as Han swaggered toward her. Yep, 4 fails. He didn't have time for chit-chat. Who are you? I could ask the same question, the woman retorted. When he didn't reply, she reluctantly answered, Meecha Odun. Meech to my friends. Friends don't spy on each other. She smirked. Didn't say we were friends. Yet. Han grinned back, letting his gun drop. Meech took the opportunity to kick at him. He stepped back, avoiding her booted foot. Nice try, kid. I like you. You and me could be pals. If I told you where I came from, the woman guessed. He spread his hands. See? We're getting along great. Meech nodded past Han's shoulder. Nodo's shipyard, a couple kilometers or so that way. He exchanged knowing looks with Chewie. A shipyard, eh? Nodo can fix anything. She glanced back at the Falcon. Even that heap of junk. He ignored the jab. Seems a strange place to open a business. Can't get much passing trade. She shrugged. People know where he is. The right people. Meech sighed. Not usually. Han understood. A chop shop. Makes sense. Visited a few in my time. Right next to, Citibank Field where the Mets play. It wasn't a lie. Chop shops handled stolen ships, stripping them down for parts. Most of the Falcon systems had come from such dives, far from prying Imperial eyes. Chewbacca let out a series of grunts. Meech looked up at the Wookiee. What did he say? Relax, he's not going to hurt you. Not unless you make another crack about our ship. But you need something? She was a smart one. A heat exchanger, Han replied. Meech seized on the new information. Nodo will have one, definitely. And you can persuade him to part with it? Then she didn't look so sure. For the right price. Han holstered his blaster. We're running low on credits. He looked in the direction of the abandoned speeder bike. But if this Nodo guy has one to spare... Meech's eyes went wide as she realized what Han was suggesting. You're going to steal one? From Nodo? Not steal, Han insisted. Borrow. On a long-term loan. You won't even notice it's gone. I could help. He laughed at the suggestion. And raise the alarm as soon as my back's turned? I don't think so. Besides, I work better on my own. Chewbacca wailed mournfully. Han rolled his eyes. You know what I mean. He jabbed a finger at Meech. Deal with her. She paled. Deal with me how? Oh, no need to panic. Chewie's just going to rip your arms off. No. Chewie's just going to make sure you can't warn your pals. Don't worry, we'll let you go before we blast off. He gave the woman a lopsided grin. Mind if I use your speeder? Meech struggled. Do I have a choice? Han called over his shoulder as he disappeared through the trees. What are friends for? Like the Falcon, Meech's speeder bike was faster than it looked. Han was impressed. It was quiet, too, the engine purring softly as he weaved in and out of the trees. As he approached the shipyard, the ground gave way to swamp. Han was sure he saw something move in the mire, but he didn't have the time or the inclination to investigate further. The shipyard was hardly what you'd call impressive. It was just a huddle of rickety workshops in the middle of the jungle. Nothing like the shipyards from Han's home planet of Corellia. Most of the buildings looked as though they'd been constructed from junked ships. There was no one to be seen. The only living soul was a scraggy fly. Let's see. The only living souls were a scraggy flock of Lomaxian turkeys pecking noisily at the dirt. Scrap was everywhere, from gutted transports to piles of crates and containers. Perfect cover for a thief. Han powered down the speeder, leaving it resting behind a stack of rust-colored barrels. You didn't really feel the moment? Han powered down the speeder, leaving it resting behind a stack of rust-covered barrels. He read the label on the nearest drum. Rhydonium starship fuel, far cheaper than coaxium, but still highly flammable and used throughout the galaxy. All right, there's Han in stealth mode, everybody. You could totally see that, right? Right? You know, total stealth mode. That's Han all over. Rhydonium may not be as valuable as coaxium, Han muttered to himself, but this much rhydonium be worth a fortune. It wouldn't help the Falcon, though. Han peered around the barrels. There was a landing bay on the other side of the yard, a number of ships waiting to be dismantled. He was surprised to see a TIE fighter of a model he'd never seen before, with horizontally mounted wings ending in sharp points. But even that was nothing compared with the sleek yacht moored next to an armored transport. Wow, Han exclaimed, and for good reason. The yacht was beautiful, with a long, mirror-like hull. It paled in comparison to some other star yachts he'd seen across the galaxy. It certainly wasn't as impressive as Dryden Voss's of Crimson Dawn, for example, but it was still surprising to see such an elegant ship in such a rundown junkyard. Hey, what's up, Optic? Now that's traveling in style. Glancing around to check that the coast was clear, Han ran for the polished craft and darted up the access ramp. Inside, the yacht was just as luxurious, with leather seats and gilded control panels. Even the engine was surprisingly pristine. A smile broke across Han's face as he spotted not one but 3 heat exchangers, all compatible with the Falcon's hyperdrive. Now he just had to remove one without being caught. All right, chat, here's the question. Is Han discovered removing the part? If so, $ vote space 1 if you think he is discovered removing the part. $ vote space 2 if you think he is not discovered finding the part. Okay, Chad is not sure about this. This is very much up in the air. All right, chat, and just as a note to chat, we're going to be running here for about another 15 minutes. At 6:10, we will wrap this up. If we're not finished, then we'll finish it at another time. I don't know when, but we'll figure out a time to finish it. And then we will, then at 6:15, is when we will be doing the concert. So we'll take a break here around 6:10 so I can set things up. Kilgore will then go live at 6:15 p.m. Eastern, and then I'm going to enjoy the music while eating some pancakes. That's my plan. Right now we are even up. So we have 5 votes for yes, he is discovered. 5 votes for no, he is not discovered. So I'm going to last call this, and we need someone to break that tie. What'd you vote? Let's find out. You did. Aha! Tim Coolish has got the vote in. Okay. Going once. Going twice. Okay. So, Han. Oh, sorry, Triffid. Sorry. Is it still tied? Yeah, you just missed it. Sorry. We'll see. Maybe you would have been right. We'll find out. Is Han discovered removing the part? So, removing the part took longer than Han thought it would. He'd never seen so many bolts holding a part in place. Come on, he murmured as he finally eased the component from its housing. That's it. Who are you? said someone with a mechanical voice behind him. Han whirled around, nearly dropping the exchanger. The droid that filled the doorway was easily as big as a Gamorrean guard. Its arms were powerful pistons, and its single red eye was fixed on Han. Usually, Han wouldn't think twice about blasting a droid, no matter how large it was, but with his hands full, there was no way to go for his gun. Here, he said, throwing the exchanger at the surprised robot. Catch. The droid obeyed, its pincers snapping the unit from the air. It was the distraction Han needed. His blaster in hand, he shot the machine in its oversized chest. The robot toppled backward, clattering to the floor. Suddenly, several small little droids came running out from the walls. Daddy droid! Daddy droid! Mommy droid right next to them. Daddy droid won't move again. I'm just kidding. None of this happened. Stepping over the deactivated droid, Han plucked the exchanger from its grasp. Thanks. You've been a great help. Is that right? Came another voice. Han looked up to see an intimidating man with an overblown rifle in his slab-like hands. This one was human, with skin sprawled with multiple tattoos and a nose so flat it must have been broken on numerous occasions. He wore greasy overalls, complete with a patch giving what Han assumed was his name, Gorko. Drop it, the tattooed bruiser told him. Han remained frozen where he stood. What, the exchanger or the blaster? Both. Nodo will want to see you. Han had little choice but to comply. And I want to see Nodo, whoever he is. You'll find out soon enough. And find out he did. Han was led to a reptilian easily as tall as Chewie. Nodo had 4 powerful arms and a permanent snarl on his green-scaled face. He was wearing an oily vest and had a packed tool belt slung around his wide hips. Who's this? Nodo said as he glowered at Han with snake-like eyes. He shot SD-93, Gorko said, his voice dripping with venom. Big mistake, Nodo said. 93 was Gorko's best friend. Montage. Gorko and 93 like running through the field together. What a day for a daydream. Like high-fiving each other, having a picnic. Okay. Han looked over his shoulder at the tattooed man's scowling face. Then I did you a favor. Seriously, how dumb can a droid get? Gorko's eyes flashed with anger, but before the thug could bash Han with his blaster, Nodo cut in. I say you're the dumb one. Who are you? Han turned slowly back to the 4-armed alien. He had an idea. He was pretty sure it was a terrible idea, but it was the only one he had. You want to know my name? I'll tell you my name. Nodo raised the bony ridges that passed for eyebrows. I'm waiting. Han held his head up high. My name is... What? My name is who? My name is Chicka Chicka Slim Shady. Sorry. My name is Jabba the Hutt. Does Nodo believe that Han is Jabba? $vote space 1 means yes, he does believe Han is Jabba. $vote space 2 means no, he does not believe he's Jabba. They ought to consult with Lucas about this and what Jabba originally looked like. Yeah, Chad is not sure about this. They look sure-ish, yeah. No, I mean, they just, so many diverse thinkers, Yeah. See, everyone can see he's not a Hutt, but that's just how tough this human is. It's his nickname. My name is Jabba the Hutt, the human. Yeah, Jabba's upright is barely standing. That's true. Real job. Please stand up. Please stand up. Guess who's back? Back again. Jabba's back. Tell a friend. Okay. Last call. Did I do last call? I did last call. Hope he doesn't need an ID card. What's your serial number? It's a boring conversation anyway. Okay. All right. Nodo believes. Do you believe in life after Hutt? Okay. Han held his breath. He had no idea if his gamble would pay off. These crooks might not even know who Jabba was, and if they did, would they realize that Han looked absolutely nothing like a Hutt? Nodo dropped into a respectful, if nervous, bow. Jabba, he stammered. It's an honor to welcome you to my humble yard. If I'd known it was you... Han had to stop himself from laughing out loud. They'd bought it. I will forgive you. Just this once. The reptilian looked relieved, but Han piled on the pressure. Your friend is right. I do have a ship in the jungle. He starts saying, what is ordered, Tom ship in jungle? And we get a donation at the same time, because that worked, from Christy. Donated via stream from Kilgore Trout. Thank you. So much for that. We are up to 25. That is now 25.37. So 25.57. 25.57.34. Yeah, but there was a person who couldn't use this and they had to donate another way. So it's $20 off, and I can't add it manually, which is something I'm going to talk to, I'm going to send Tiltify a please fix this next time thing, because it makes it hard. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. Thank you. Lovely. Okay. This Chaos Squad is still winning, I know. Or the Squad of Order, the Pattern or Squad is very much, behind the times here. We ran into a little Imperial trouble and were forced to crash a kilometer or so from here. My associate is making repairs. Han looked around at Nodo's gang of reprobates. Perhaps you could help? All right, will Nodo's gang help fix the Millennium Falcon? $ vote space 1 means they will help. $ vote space 2 means they will not help. What's it going to be, chat? $ vote space 1, they will help. $ vote space 2, they won't help. All right, and we are looking for chat. We have about 5 minutes left in this section of ArvCon, and then it's going to be our concert time. This has actually been a lot of fun. I'm glad we did this, though, that it worked out this way. We rolled with the punches, and we came out swinging, as they say. We haven't a... Oh, my goodness. Chat, they're like, hell yeah, you're going to do this. Yeah, chat's like, of course. Right, Dragon? It's fun, right? I'm glad. I like doing the fighting fantasy stuff. Now, Choose Your Own Adventure is obviously very simple, Okay, I can see. Right, okay. Here we go. All right, will they help fix the Millennium Falcon? Chat believes they will. Help, Nodo said, a worried look passing over his scaled face. You mean for free? Han waved away the questions if it were crazy. Of course not. I'm a very rich Hutt. I'd gladly pay for your services, and then maybe arrange an exclusive contract for any future work. Nodo's eyes gleamed with avarice. What kind of sum are we talking? Han plucked a figure out of the air. Oh, I don't know, 10, maybe 20 million. The reptilian's mouth dropped open. Behind Han, Meech took a step forward. But you said you didn't have... The rest of the woman's sentence was lost as Nodo pressed a button on his belt. Electricity coursed over Meech's arms and legs, and she dropped to the floor, gasping in agony. She all right? Han asked, concerned. Nodo wrinkled his nose at the girl. Meech is a cyborg, and her bionic limbs malfunction from time to time. He gestured for the Hoopaloo to help Meech to her feet. Don't worry, Screech will look after her. The Birdman scurried over to Meech and hauled her up none too kindly. You okay? Han asked her. Before she could answer, 2 of Nodo's arms wrapped around Han's shoulders, guiding him away. It's going to be a pleasure doing business with you, Jabba. We'll get your ship up and running in no time. While you wait, why don't you relax in my personal yacht? He indicated the sleek ship Han had already plundered. You hungry? Thirsty? Anything you want, it's yours. From now on, my home is your home. Han grinned. Maybe he was going to like it there after all. Chewbacca did not like it there, not one bit, and he wasted no time in telling Han so over and over again. Han couldn't understand why the Wookiee was complaining. Nodo's crew had provided everything Chewbacca needed to repair the Falcon. Of course Han couldn't help. He was too busy being treated like royalty on board Nodo's yacht. The food, apparently cooked by Screech, was surprisingly good. Admittedly, Chewie wasn't getting the same treatment. Screech had supplied the Wookiee with a few scraps of moldy bread, thinking Chewbacca was little more than a lackey. Han tried telling Chewie he wasn't enjoying himself either. We just got to keep up the act, he said, tucking into yet another turkey drumstick. At least until the repairs are done. As long as Nodo thinks I'm a ruthless crime lord, we're free and clear. What no one knew was that in the shipyard's greasy kitchens, Screech was chirping urgently into a comlink. That's right, he said, holding the device close to his wart-covered beak. Nodo's doing business with Jabba the Hutt. He's here right now. I thought you would want to know. Interesting. Okay, this is going to be our last choice of the evening, chat, because then we have our concert to get to. It wasn't long before the repairs on the Falcon were completed. Han sighed as he stretched out on the yacht's overstuffed couch. He would miss being Jabba. Han was used to life as a smuggler, jumping from job to job, usually on the run from someone, and he rarely got to enjoy the finer things the galaxy had to offer. I know, right, Triffid? He felt bad that Chewie was missing out on all the fancy food and service, but there was no doubt about it. Pretending to be Jabba was great. There was a polite cough at the door. It was Meech holding a platter piled high with bright blue eggs on a bed of crisp greens. And you can see what that looks like right there, chat. Han jumped up to take it from her. Here, let me help. No, she insisted. It's fine, Jabba. After placing the platter within easy reach of the couch, Meech turned to leave. She puzzled Han. He'd seen everyone on the base stripping ships, but not Meech. She just waited on Nodo and his cronies like a servant. Han felt an urge to stop her, to ask about her life, but the eggs she had delivered smelled so good. All right, last decision of the evening, chat. What should Han do? Should he eat the food? $ vote space 1. Or should he talk to Meech? $ vote space 2. Should he eat the food? $ vote space 1. Or should he talk to Meech? Be careful here, chat. Yeah, Dragon. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I don't know. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Why didn't you just give some food to Chewie? I also don't understand why. Like, I mean, what's the downside of talking to her, right? Like, if he talks to her, she's gonna be like, "Shut up and eat your food." Or she's like, "You've talked to me for the last time," and then blast him. Like, I don't, you know. So. Yeah, exactly. Come on, go on the bank, you cowards. Dark Saber and Classicor. Okay, last call, last call. Going once. Going twice. Okay. All right, we're talking to Meech. No, he had eaten enough. Okay. Meech, wait. She paused at the door and looked back. What? He took a step closer. It's just, well, you don't seem to fit in around here. And you don't seem to have a long tail or eat gorgs. Han winced. So you know, huh? That you're not who you say you are? She laughed bitterly. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. Not that anyone would listen anyway. He took another step toward her. Look, when your bionic limbs malfunctioned, that was no accident, was it? Nodo did it to you. She shifted uncomfortably, putting her hands in her back pockets. This was obviously difficult for her. I crashed here, she explained, 4 years ago. Nodo fixed my robotic arms and legs. Like you, I didn't have any credits, but unlike you, I didn't pretend to be a gangster. So Nodo made you work off your debt? She laughed, and then some. Rolling up her sleeve, Meech showed her her bionic arm. He implanted devices that shock me every time I refuse to do as he says. That day, I became his slave. Han was appalled. He'd guessed that Nodo was a creep, but this was a step too far. Meech noted the expression on his face. You think that's bad? She led him out of the yacht and toward the old armored transport. Look inside. Han peered through the window and saw men and women standing against the wall. No, they weren't standing. They were stuck to the wall by some kind of gloop. That's filofoam, isn't it? Meech nodded. Used to plug hull breaches on ships. One spray and it hardens in seconds. And Nodo was using it to trap people? Who are they? Crews brought in by pirates. Nodo holds them here for ransom. Han felt his stomach knot. He'd done plenty of dodgy stuff over the years and dealt with a lot of bad people, from the White Worms to Crimson Dawn. But this was more than just dodgy. This was downright wrong. Anything wrong? Rumbled a deep voice behind them. It was Nodo, two of his arms crossed in front of his barrel chest. And that, chat, is where we are going to bring this to a close for the evening. Good times with Choose Your Destiny. We will have a chance to maybe play more of this at some point. Did people like this? Did people enjoy doing this as a backup for what we were going to do? Was this a good time, everybody? Oh, that's no problem, Shadowed. Actually, Shadowed, I'm going to write you something during Kilgore's concert coming up in a minute, so just check it on Discord when you can. Okay, Shadowed? Yeah? Yay! 9 out of 10 minimum. Awesome. Good. I'm glad. Hey, Wispy, good to see you. I'm glad everyone had fun. I did too. This was really awesome. Okay, so now, chat, we are at 2557.34 to 5,000, over halfway. That's amazing. But what's about to happen next is going to be, if possible, even more amazing, even more astonishing. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to bring one Mr. Kilgore Trout on board. So let me here. It's not that. Let me go to where the music is playing. Good job on the Dark Forces again, Echo. Thank you for that. Okay, we are going to get Kilgore Treddy ready. Kilgore Treddy. We're going to get Kilgore Treddy. We're going to get Kilgore Trout ready, and we are going to get started in just about 5 minutes. So I'm going to turn off the window for now. I'm going to leave you folks looking at all of this awesomeness. I would love it if when I came back, some more people had donated. That would be super sweet. And in the meantime, I'm going to get Kilgore Trout ready for the second part of our concert, but the first part of our concert today. Zach Clay played last night. Kilgore Trout, followed by Chrono Wolf, followed after that by Community D&D, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So let's keep moving up. Let's keep rolling along. And if you are Kilgore Trout fans, please give early and often to this as we can do this. That would be lovely. And thank you all for bearing with me, rolling with the punches as we did this. This was a lot of fun. All right, I'll be back to you folks in just a bit. So in the meantime, please, he said, looking for the thing he was supposed to do. There it is. Please hang tight, and I'll be right back. All right, everybody. So the time has come. I'm going to stop.